Let's begin by opening the code editor, which in this case will be Visual Studio Code. This software is free. Just search for VS Code or Visual Studio Code on Google and download it. Let's close the welcome page and create a folder on desktop to store all the elements of our interactive map. Let's click New, Folder, and give it a name. I will call it Zoo Interactive Map YouTube tutorial. Let's go back to VS Code and start by saving this workspace in the folder we created on the desktop. I will click on File and Save Workspace As. I will choose the folder we just created and I will maintain this name and click Save. And now I will create 3 files, an HTML file, a CSS, and a JavaScript file. To do this, I will once again go to File and click on New Text File, File again, Save As. I will save in the folder and I will call it index.html. Click Save. And notice that the name and icon have changed here in this tab. Let's create a new file, save it. This time I will call this style.css. And the last one will be JavaScript, so new text file, save as. And this one will be named script.js and click Save. As you can see, we have a bunch of languages we can choose from. In general terms, for those not too familiar with this, the HTML file will contain the SVG file, buttons, text, and images that will appear on the screen. The CSS file will be where we apply styles to all the elements, and with JavaScript we'll be able to interact with the map, like making the trees move, opening and closing pop-ups, and viewing information about the animals, for example. I'll start by creating an HTML boilerplate. To do this, just type an exclamation mark and then press Enter. And this will be the HTML base for our map. Although we have created 3 files and saved them in the same folder, we still need to tell the program that the CSS styles and JavaScript code will be applied to this HTML file. To do this, we need to create what is called a link. I'll start by linking the style.css file. To do this, before the title tag, I will write link. In fact, all HTML tags start with this symbol. Then I'll write link rel equals, followed by double quotes. Inside these double quotes I will type style sheet, like this. Then href equals double quotes again, and then I'll specify the CSS file location. Since this file is in the same folder as this HTML file, I only need to write the file name. To close an HTML tag, I need to place this slash, followed by the greater than symbol. I will now rename the project to Zoo Interactive Map, right here in the title tag, like this. And now let's link the script.js to this HTML file. After the final tag, I will write script src equals, followed by double quotes with the JavaScript file name inside. And then close the tag. Actually, in this case it's a bit different. First we need to close the opening tag, and then we can close it with a slash followed by script, and then using the greater than symbol. I'm now going to place the SVG file inside our HTML within this body tag. But first, I'll need to move the SVG file into this new folder I just created. Here it is. I just took the SVG file I exported in the previous video and pasted into this new folder. Now going to File and clicking on Open File, we can open the SVG file in VS Code. Click Save, and we need to allow this untrusted file in this workspace, okay? As you can see in the previous video, I explained that it's crucial for the SVG file to be well organized with all the layers correctly named. This is important because these types of files contain thousands and thousands of letters and numbers, as you can see here. To place this file inside the HTML, I will copy all these numbers and letters and paste them within the body tag. So I just need to select everything, click on Ctrl C, and inside this body tag, click Ctrl V to paste it. There's a way to make this file more readable. Inside VS Code, we need to install an extension called Prettier. I just saved it by pressing Ctrl S, and as you can see, the code is way more readable. To install the Prettier extension, simply click on Extensions right here, search for Prettier, and then follow the installation steps. For me, it's an indispensable tool. I'll close the Prettier extension and the SVG file. And before we continue, we can actually take a look at the SVG file now that it's all formatted. Here we can see the colors we defined in Adobe Illustrator, and also we have the project name here. We actually need to remove that because otherwise, wherever we hover the map, a small text box saying Project Zoo will appear. So let's remove this. And as you can see, I have all the names I assigned in the previous video. These will be incredibly helpful as we finalize this map. Let's now move to the CSS file and set up the basic styling for the body. Let's type body, curly brackets, and let's type margin, colon, 0, semicolon, then enter, height, 100 VH or viewport height. This makes the element occupy the full height of the browser window. Then margin left will be 100 pixels. Font family, it needs to be Arial, Helvetica, sans serif. Next, display, flex, and overflow hidden. Overflow hidden makes it so that we don't have access to the scroll bar. Let's finish with background color, and I will use this code to set the color of the background as a light brown. So the color will be hash B89873. I will click Ctrl S to save, and let's open the HTML file to see how the map is going. Let's double click the index.html. So we now have the map with a brown background. If we go back to the HTML file and add a title again into the SVG, not this one, but the title of the SVG, this one here, I will type zoo for example. And if we go back to the map, first we need to refresh. We see that a small text box will appear here, and that's why we remove the title from the SVG. I will keep the SVG without a title, so let me delete this zoo word. Another handy tool is Live Server. Just a moment ago you saw that I had to refresh the page for the map to update. With Live Server extension we don't need to manually refresh. Whenever we save the file in VS Code, our web page updates automatically. To install this extension, simply click on this icon again and search for Live Server. There are hundreds of tutorials on YouTube that show how to set up this tool. Once the tool is installed, you just need to click on Go Live right here at the bottom. An error is appearing because I haven't defined a folder for my workspace. I'll fix this right away. I'll just need to go to File, Add Folder to Workspace, and then I just need to choose the folder I have my workspace. Choose Yes in this message, and now if we click Go Live, this should work. Let's wait a second for it to open. Let me close this one. Let's repeat. Okay, Live Server. Live Server is opening now. And that's it. So now if we save our files in HTML, CSS or JavaScript, this web page will be automatically refreshed. In fact, I can even show you. Let me type a title here, and I didn't refresh the page, but the name appears automatically. That's all for today's video. In the next one, we'll start creating elements for our project, specifically a sidebar menu with clickable buttons.